oh shit, it just disappeared into the water and popped back up. This is incredible. Hello, hey, how's it going? Welcome back, my busy buddies. This is Too Busy Didn't Know with me, Go Joe. This is the podcast and show where I wrangle the best news, startup, technology, and business news and bring it to you weekly because let's be honest, we're all so busy. We can't keep up with it all. So this is the show where we bring it all together to stay informed. And this week, I've got 9 stories to share with you, from Snapchat to Microsoft to China landing on Mars and deepfakes. Let's get caught up. Thanks again for joining me. Let's get all the begging, please subscribe out of the way in the beginning. So if you like my show, if you like my content, hit that subscribe button, mash the bell, do all that stuff and help me out. Share it with a friend, leave a comment, help me beat the YouTube algorithm because growing a new show is tough when you're nobody like I am. But let's get right into the news. As I mentioned, we've got 9 stories and there's some pretty cool stuff. Starting off with something extremely awesome. These scientists, researchers, students maybe, have just proven that the human brain can support an extra body part. What does that mean? Let's check it out. Here we are. It's a second thumb. I was going to say a third thumb, but this is just a second thumb. We haven't gotten to 3 yet. As we can see here on the screen, if you're listening on the podcast, this is a visual show. You can check it out on YouTube. But as we're seeing here, there's a hand with a thing strapped to it. Looks almost like a thong, where your thumb is kind of like the dick, I guess. And on the other side, there's another thumb. And apparently researchers have trained a person to actually interact with that thumb using just their brain and some sensors attached to that hand. We can see here, there's a video. Well, here, let's read what the scientist said. First, the research team trained humans to employ a robotic extra thumb and discovered that they could effectively execute complex and dexterous tasks, including building a tower of blocks using their double-thumbed hand. As participants continued to train, they remarked on how increasingly it felt like just another part of their body, complete with this video here from Danny Claude, I think. She says, our first third thumb paper is available for preprint, neurocognitive consequences of hand augmentation. Let's press play here and see what they got. It's just a GIF. Amazing. In the video, you can see a person bending the third thumb to touch their pinky, their index finger, their middle finger, the ring finger, and then their other thumb, so they can have full use of this robotic thumb. And I bet you, they can use it to pick up objects or do whatever. I'm not sure if I need an extra thumb, but if these researchers could give me a tail I can control with my mind, then I would totally be in. Prehensile tail, I've always wanted to swing from a branch. Screw the thumb. I don't need an extra thumb. Give me an extra hand like Dr. Octopus so I can do more, or give me a tail so I can swing in the jungle like a monkey. This is incredible. If you want to check it out, I'll link to the paper in the description below. Moving on to space news. From thumbs to space news, maybe one day we'll be able to use our second thumb or third thumb to pick up rocks on Mars, just like China's new rover is doing. China recently landed on Mars. The rover touched down on the red planet early on Sunday, Beijing time, and in doing so, it made China the only second nation after America to successfully put a probe on the surface of Mars and operate it for a significant length of time. There's pictures here. We can see the probe coming down off the ramp of the landing pod. We can see what it looks like when it opens up. And then the paper or the website was also very excited to say that on the Chinese Space Administration website here, where they took the pictures from and that gave the announcement, there's also videos. And as we can see here, the videos look very, how can I say this? 1990? They're very blurry, grainy videos compared to what NASA is getting with their newest rover. What is it? Inspiration or something like that? Curiosity? Maybe it's Curiosity. I'm curious what the name is. But China has said that Zhurong looks a lot like the U.S. Space Agency NASA's Spirit and Opportunity vehicles from the 2000s. As the cameras would suggest. China, so good at copying other people's technology, and they did it again to land on Mars. It weighs some 240 kgs, a tall mast carries cameras to take pictures and aid navigation. 5 additional instruments will investigate the mineralogy of local rocks and the general nature of the environment, including the weather. Oh, good. Now we can have a weather report from Mars from China. Thank you for that. Like the current American rovers Curiosity and Perseverance, Zhurong has a laser tool to zap rocks to assess their chemistry. I also heard that whenever they use the lasers, dubstep plays. I don't know. This is just something I've been told. I don't know. You can see here all of the successful landings on Mars, where Perseverance landed, Insight, Curiosity, Spirit, Zhurong, Viking, Phoenix, Viking 1, Pathfinder, Opportunity. And most of these are, as we mentioned, from the US, as China just became the second nation to land on Mars. So now we can finally start the tradition of these robots taking a piss with their oil where they want to mark their territory. So Zhurong landed very close to Viking 2. It does have special sensors on board to sense when it smells Viking 2's particular piss oil, and then it won't go into that territory. I have good information from NASA that this is how it'll work, so that we don't, double research certain areas on Mars. We've got the piss oil. And in other news around space, there has been some leaks, I guess, or announcements coming out of the USA for UFOs. So officially, they have confirmed UFOs. Former President Obama even came out and said, yeah, UFOs exist. They're also going through a bit of a rebranding right now. I don't know why, but UFOs are now being rebranded to UAPs. We went from unidentified flying objects to unidentified aerial phenomenon. I'm not sure why we're changing the branding here or who thought that UFO needed an update, but I love UFO. It rolls right off the tongue. Anyways, this newly leaked video shows a UFO or UAP, whatever you want to call it, disappearing into the water. And this is very weird because it's flying and then it dips down into the water and then surfaces very quickly. No technology that we have on Earth can do that. Well, I guess this was on Earth, but no known technology that we're aware of publicly can do this. But let's check out the video here from CNN Business. Don't know why it's on CNN Business, but yeah. So here we go. We can see in the video the UAP traveling over the water, and then apparently it's going to dip down into the ocean, so it's hovering. I feel like I've seen this video like years ago. Jeremy Corbell first released the footage. Oh, there it goes. The Pentagon has said the videos of the UAPs are part of an ongoing investigations. Yeah, because if somebody has this technology, it's not good for for us, because they can use it against us. And here we go. And bloop. Oh, interesting. So I'm watching this now. It's less convincing than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was like moving and then it kind of went down onto the water and then came back up quickly, but it actually looked like there was a camera stutter. It looked more like a visual effects stutter, or like it had lag, like the video had lag, and then the object disappeared under the water and then disappeared completely. These other videos are a little bit more convincing just because they're traveling, but yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that just thinks that there's some sort of technological hiccup that's causing these sort of artifacts to appear on camera, and then we're taking them as UAPs. But I think some pilots have confirmed that they see things with their eyes in addition to the radar and the video. So that gives it a little bit more credence when somebody's seeing it with their eyes. But I wonder, because yeah, that video was not as convincing as I thought it was going to be. And I love UAPs or UFOs, aliens. And yeah, this just wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I wanted to like react and be like, oh shit, it just disappeared into the water and popped back up. This is incredible. But it looked more like a VFX error. Unfortunate. Speaking of visual effects, moving on to the next story here, Snapchat. Recently, Evan Spiegel, CEO and founder of Snapchat, appeared on a podcast called Sway with Kara Swisher, a tech journalist, and announced these new augmented reality spectacles. You can see here this girl wearing them. They are probably the slickest looking augmented reality glasses I've seen so far. They look more like dorky sunglasses, or those ones that you wear when you get your eyes operated on. And you can see it's got in the corners 2 cameras, obviously, which are taking in the world so that it can project on top of reality. And they say the new spectacles have a dual waveguide display capable of superimposing AR effects made with Snapchat's software tools. The frame features 4 built-in microphones, 2 stereo speakers, and built-in touchpad. Front-facing cameras help the glasses detect objects and surfaces you're looking at, so the graphics would appear naturally to interact with the world around you. This is incredible. This is really exciting. This is what I'm all about. It's so future facing. I love that Snapchat is doing this. It actually makes me want to invest in Snapchat. I would highly suggest you looking at investing in Snapchat. They are finally profitable. It's a great stock. I honestly predict that they're going to be doing big things in the future here. Whatever you think about Snapchat in the past, they've definitely continued reinventing themselves. They went from sending nudes in high school to augmented reality, and I think that this is a great switch and a good path for them forward. They do have some augmented reality views here, or a video of the augmented reality. Very excited for it. This is layering on top of the real world. It is what I think is going to be the next big thing to come out and change the world after cell phones, and putting all those sensors together in our pocket with a CPU that we could just take around everywhere with us. This is the next step of that, projecting that reality on top of our own world. It's incredible, but let's see what this video is. Apparently it's got some butterflies in it. I'm excited. I'm so excited because I haven't seen this yet. They're introducing it. Here we go. We're putting on the spectacles. You can see a little heads up display with the Snapchat bubbles or filters, I guess. And then he taps the side of it to activate it, and then wherever he looks, he can see flowers and a butterfly hovering in front of him. He can interact with it. He puts his hand out and then the butterfly lands on it. This is pretty impressive. I mean, the field of view here is very limited. It only has a square in the middle field of view, so it's not completely all over display yet from the glasses. So there's definitely a visualization panel in the middle where the visuals are happening. He just said, let's play a game or see a dog. And so now he's got a virtual dog that he's interacting with. Little throws a bone, the dog goes and picks it up, and he can see it. He can actually look around to see where the dog is at in virtual space, which is really important. Object persistence. So if a dog is in front of you 3 meters away, if you look away and then the dog moves, it has to know that the dog moves so that it can, when you look back, project that the dog is now 5 meters away. That's really incredible. And the fact that he can interact with it is very cool. This whole video also reminded me of Nintendo and videos that Nintendo used to make showing off their new technology. I think that's really awesome. Like I said, I'm very excited about this. The glasses look pretty slick compared to other attempts at this, like Google Glass and the Facebook one. I don't even remember what it was. And also Magic Leap. Magic Leap doesn't look quite as elegant as this, though Magic Leap I think has a wider field of view and better visuals. Regardless, this is the next big thing. It's coming. It's going to happen in the next 5 years. I think this is awesome. So cool. If you want to check it out, Snapchat Spectacles on Twitter. And speaking of wearing the glasses when you get your eyes worked on, when you do eye work, scientists have now used CRISPR to change DNA in its participants. I talk about CRISPR a lot on this show. It's a scientific tool that lets us edit the genes of cells. And for the first time, they are altering the DNA of a living human using CRISPR, known as the Brilliance Clinical Trial. The procedure is designed to repair mutations in a particular gene that causes Leber congenital amaurosis type 10, known as retinal dystrophy. It is a genetic condition that results in vision deterioration and has been previously untreatable. So what they're doing, I believe, is giving these patients eye drops that have CRISPR technology in them. And during the Brilliance trials, the researchers are able to snip out the abnormal DNA that causes the particular retinal degeneration that can go and devolve into blindness. The procedure does not change the genetic code of a person, but changes the DNA in a localized area of just the retina. I don't know if these are drops or if they're doing something else to edit the localized DNA, but this is incredible news. One, because going blind is a fear of mine. Don't know why, it just is. And the fact that we're using CRISPR now in live humans in clinical trials is really good news. Previously, they have used CRISPR to help people with sickle cell anemia disease, but they had to do that in vitro, meaning they took the blood out of the person, put the CRISPR genes in it, edited it, and then put the blood back in the person. This, on the other hand, is doing it while they're living day to day. So that maybe it's just eye drops that they put in every day, and then over time, all of a sudden, their vision is repaired. It's incredible. It's awesome technology. Maybe we can start using it to, I don't know, fix wounds or do whatever, fix teeth, fingernails, skin problems, don't know what. But I'm excited to see where scientists take it. Meanwhile, other scientists have been doing things with deepfakes. If you aren't aware, deepfakes are computer-generated models that look like real people. So they take footage of somebody, of like Donald Trump speaking, and then using a deepfake, they can make it look like he has said something he hasn't said, or put someone else's face over Donald Trump. I did a video about it on my Go Joe Show channel if you want to check it out. I made a Trump deepfake in like 5 minutes or less using a free online resource that I found in a paper, ironically enough. And this paper, or this company, is now taking that same type of theory and technology and applying it to movies. So they would take the original actor's performance, feed it into a neural network, and then also give it, in addition to the video, audio of a dub artist, a person speaking a different language, saying the lines, and then they would match up the mouth with the dub artist so that you don't lose the performance of the original actor, but they also look like they're saying it in a different language like German or Japanese or whatever. And the company is called Flawless. As they explain, customers feed the company's software with video from a film or TV show along with dub dialogue recorded by humans. Flawless's machine learning models then create a new lip movement that match the translated speech and paste them automatically onto the actor's head. They have a demo of it right here. As we can see, it says for over 100 years, filmmakers, the language of cinema. Yes, okay, has struggled to be heard. Not true. They have traditional dubbing examples here. Until now. They're using a clip from A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. And here we hear or see Jack Nicholson speaking a different language. And here's Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump speaking a different language. Performance preserved. Now, the ironic thing here is that the company's name is Flawless, but in watching this, the technology isn't flawless. There's definitely artifacts in the lip movement. It's not perfect. This is a growing technology. I think over time, it'll obviously get better. These neural networks need time to train and get better. Here we see Tom Hanks speaking in German, Japanese, Spanish, and then back to Japanese. And the lip movements look okay, but definitely off. So there's something about it that looks off. Here we can see what is going on in the background technology. Cinematic photoreal outputs. I think, so this is an interesting use of deepfake and dubbing technology, but I don't know if it's 100% necessary. I like watching films in other languages and just leaving it on the language and having English subtitles. I think sub is fine because you don't lose the actor's performance. And also one thing that isn't generally talked about here is that the way that our jaw is physically formed and that our head is shaped and that our body is even shaped affects the sound and tenor of our voice. So a lot of these dub artists don't look anything like the people that they're dubbing over, and thus their voice tenor and sound and cadence doesn't necessarily fit the words being said, fit the actor. And so you lose not only a lot of the performance, but a lot of the vocalization that matches the performance when you're watching something that's dubbed, and then even beyond that, flawless lip synced. So I prefer watching the original language with subtitles because you don't lose anything. The power of the performance isn't gone, the sound quality isn't degraded because of the dubbing, and a myriad of other factors. I think it's just superior technology, a simple subtitle than this dubbed flawless technology. Maybe people prefer it. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer a dubbed or subbed, and your reason why? For me, it's because the physicality matches up with the voice and you don't lose anything. For you, maybe you prefer this because you don't like reading subtitles, in which case, the hell's wrong with you? Get your shit together. Read a subtitle. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And speaking of subtitles and about speaking in natural language processing, one big surprise from Microsoft is that they are using OpenAI's GPT-3 now. I've talked about it before, again, on the show. It's a language model that does processing of natural language and figures out the context. It's very powerful. But Microsoft is using this model in its no-code, low-code Power Apps service to translate spoken text into code in its recently announced Power FX language. And what that means is that somebody can type, as we can see here in this GIF, in normal language, and then you can program in just normal sentence structure, and it will interpret what you want and then make it happen. So in this example, the person typed in, "Show me the customers from the US whose subscription is expired." This is obviously interacting with the database, and so it takes "show me the customers from the US whose subscription is expired," translates it into a computer query where they are looking for customers in the country, the US, where they are not subscribed anymore or where their subscription has expired. And then it is displaying in a visual way, looks like maybe on an app or for an app, where these customers exist. So it's a powerful thing to be able to type in natural language and have it convert into programming. Right now, it just seems to be for a querying database structure, but moving or looking ahead in the future, I'm sure that they're going to try to apply this to even like Python coding or JavaScript or something where you could just type what you want to happen. It'll interpret it and then spit out the code for you. Then maybe you can copy and paste it into your program. It's very cool. If nobody is doing that right now, I would highly suggest somebody getting GPT-3, doing some natural language processing and spitting out code. That could truly change how no-code apps work on the internet. Free business idea if you're looking for things right there. You're welcome. Hey, Hacker News or Y Combinator, find a company that's doing that and make it happen to make coding even easier for people and more accessible to the everyday person using no code. I want to make a website that looks like Google. Copy this code, paste it. I think that might even be better as a starting point than trying to generate the whole website for you, is generating pieces of the code that you can just copy and paste into your program in the language that you want. And then you could also scale it to other languages. It's a great business, man. It's a great business. And in another great business story, Robinhood, the ire of people on the GameStop trial, because they stopped letting people buy shares during the height of the GameStop craze, is trying to instead now give back a little bit because the reputation was damaged. They are giving retail investors access to IPO shares. IPO shares have historically been set aside for Wall Street's institutional investors or high net worth individuals. Retail traders typically don't have a vehicle to buy into newly listed companies until those shares begin trading on an exchange, which is often after the share price has surged. Yes. So what happens is a company does their initial offering, and then only high net worth individuals have access to that lower price tier. And then as soon as they get it, the stock price goes up when the market opens. So the retail investors who only have access through the market get it at a higher price, and thus those original people can sell those shares to these new retail investors and make money, which in terms is bullshit. Robinhood instead is trying to roll out their IPO access feature, a new product that will give you the opportunity to buy shares of companies at their IPO price before trading on public exchanges. With IPO access, you can now participate in upcoming IPOs without account minimums. That's important, with no account minimums. As we mentioned, other very wealthy people had access to this, but you did not because you don't have enough money. And again, bullshit. I love that Robinhood is doing this. I hope other investment platforms like Public, who maybe is a little bit more reputable now than Robinhood, will allow people to do this. It's awesome. I'm not going to dive any deeper into it. If you want to know about it, check the link below. Shout out to Robinhood for doing this and pushing this forward. I think it's fantastic, giving people access to wealth creation tools like IPOs at the normal price that normally they wouldn't have access to. I hope it goes well, and if they don't do it well, I bet somebody else will do it well. And speaking of doing it well, the last story for today is that Microsoft has turned its Surface Duo handheld computer, you might know the Microsoft Surface, into apparently a handheld Xbox today with its latest app update. I want to see this. I haven't seen it yet, so here we go. Here's a Microsoft Duo, which actually kind of looks like a Game Boy Advance, if I'm going to be honest. Or not a Game Boy Advance, a DS, a Game Boy Advance. Wow, showing my age. A Nintendo DS. And yes, they open it up. It's got dual screens on both sides. It looks very sleek. Wow, that's a sleek little thing. The resolution kind of sucks. I wish that the resolution was a little bit better. It looks like the icons and stuff need to be higher res and smaller. But he's opening up the Xbox game app over here. And then... he like puts it in the middle and then it spreads it to both screens, which is cool. Turns it to the side like you would be holding a Nintendo DS. Opens up a game and then he's playing a game. The game loads up, and then on the bottom screen the Xbox controller pops up, and the top screen you actually can play the game. This is awesome. Now you can have a computer in your pocket and a high quality game machine using Steam or whatever at the same time. This is seriously game changing. Like, Nintendo can't compete against this because they don't have full function. They don't have an operating system like this does. You can't use Microsoft Word or Google Drive on your Nintendo DS unless you have it hacked in some way and you have Android on it. This is very cool, the fact that there's the game on the top screen and that the bottom screen turns into what essentially is an Xbox controller. Very cool. I wish that he would have played a more exciting game. I don't know what game this is. But yeah, he's got his whole game library there. Shout out to Xbox Cloud Gaming Surface Duo. If you're interested in having a handheld gaming PC on the go, look up the Surface Duo, as it just is like a 3DS combined with Xbox games. So yeah, he says it right here, Nintendo 3DS. Good job, Joe. Good job, Joe. Very cool. And that's it for today's Too Busy Didn't Know. If you enjoyed my content, hit that subscribe button, mash the like button. If you have a story, you can always send it to me, hijoeshow@gmail.com. Otherwise, come back on Wednesday and Thursday of next week to see what you missed out on over the past week. Give me a shout out over on Twitter @CannoliNatoli, or follow my other show, Go Joe Show, over on YouTube. You can just Google it or YouTube it, and that will pop up. Otherwise, thanks again. I hope you learned something cool this week, and until next time, you know it. I love you.